He decided she'll be having a few sharp words with him when that event comes to pass. And while she is nodding vigorously at this thought, the radiator growls like a demented cat, startling her, so she drops the papers she is holding and has to scramble to retrieve them before they disarrange themselves again. Meanwhile, from the landing below, another noise floats up. A murmur from the kitchen, where a kettle has lately boiled and a recently opened fridge is humming. In the kitchen are River Cartwright and Louisa Guy, both with warm mugs in their hands, and Louisa is maintaining a nearly unbroken commentary on the trials and tribulations accompanying the purchase of her new flat. This is quite some distance away, as London flats tend to be if they're affordable, but the picture she paints of its size, its comfort, its uncluttered surfaces, is evidence of a new contentment that River would be genuinely glad to witness, were he not brooding about something else. And all the while, behind him, the door to his office creaks on a squeaky hinge, not because anyone is currently using it, but in general protest at the drafts that haunt Slough House, and in a more particular complaint directed at the commotion arising from the next floor down. But while his door remains unused, River's office is not empty, for his new colleague, a slow horse for some 2 months now, sits within, slumped in his chair, the hood of his hoodie pulled over his head. Apart from his fingers, he is still, but these move unceasingly, his keyboard pushed aside, the better to accommodate this, and while an observer would see nothing more than an advanced case of the fidgets, what J.C. Coe is describing on the scuffed surface of his desk is a silent replica of what's coursing through his head via his iPod. Keith Jarrett's improvised piano recital from Osaka, November the 8th, 1976, one of the Sunbear concerts, Coe's fingers miming the melodies Jarrett discovered on the night, all those miles and all those years away. It's a soundless echo of another man's genius and serves a dual purpose, of tamping down Coe's thoughts, which are dismal, and of drowning out the noises his mind would otherwise entertain. The sound of wet meat dropping to the floor, for instance, or the buzz of an electric carving knife wielded by a naked intruder. But all this he keeps to himself, and as far as River and the other denizens of Slough House are concerned, J.K. Coe is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma, the whole package then refashioned in the shape of a surly, uncommunicative twat. Though even if he were yodeling, he'd not be heard over the commotion from the floor below. Not that this racket is emanating from Roderick Ho's room, or no more of it than usual. The humming of computers, the tinnitus rattle of Ho's own iPod, loaded with more aggressive music than Coe's, his nasal whistling, of which he is unaware, the rubbery squeak his swivel chair makes when he shifts his buttocks. No. What's surprising about the atmosphere in Ho's room, or what would surprise anyone who chose to hang out there, which no one does, because it's Ho's room, is that it's upbeat, cheerful even. And if something other than his own sense of superiority is warming Roddy Ho's cockles these days, which would be handy, given the inability of his radiator to warm anything much, cockles or otherwise, it coughs now and spits fizzily from its valve, spurting water onto the carpet. Ho doesn't notice, and nor does he register the following gurgle from deep within the system's pipes, a noise that would disturb any number of serious beasts, horses, lions, tigers. But this is not so much because Ho is a preternaturally cool character, whatever his own views on that subject, and more because he simply can't hear it. And the reason for this is that the lapping and gurgling of the radiator's innards, the banging and clicking of pipes, the splashy rattling of the system's exoskeleton, are all drowned out by the noise from next door, where Marcus Longridge is waterboarding Shirley Dander. Blah, blah, off, cough, blah. Yeah, I didn't follow any of that. Blah. Sorry, does that mean... Blah. Uncle? The chair to which Shirley was tied with belts and scarves was angled against her desk, and nearly crashed to the floor when she arched her back. A loud crack suggested structural damage, at the same moment as the flannel that had covered her face slapped the carpet.